Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and welcome back to the Clear Path to Cash. This is where we're talking about all the things Clear Path to Cash. Not only this app, we're talking about the video courses, we're talking about the live coaching calendar that you get, the whole enchilada to make you the better advisor. So now let's talk about the Advisor Hub. We've been on the Advisor Hub in the last couple videos. We've talked about the quick assessment. Now I'm going to talk about the standalone tools. These are tools that I put into this product because you don't need to create a client. You don't need to upload a bunch of data. You just need a quick answer to a quick question. That's what these tools are for. So when I click on standalone tools, there's 3 of them. Yep, we've already talked about the quick assessment, but now let's talk about the Mini P&L. There's also this process optimizer, which is super cool as well. But let's start with the Mini P&L that answers a lot of questions like, what if I raise prices? What if I hire a CFO? How much do I need to break even? All of those type of questions are answered inside the Mini P&L. So when I click on it, it opens up the tool, right? So everything here is kind of based on tools. You got to remember this about advisory services. It is not a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and everybody falls in the same line. You have to listen to what your client's saying and know what tool to use when, and that's why I built the library. And the library tells you what tool to use based on what you're hearing, what we're seeing with the client's data. So the Mini P&L Sandbox has got 2 different things. One is the Mini P&L, which I teach in the course about how to answer questions using like a Sudoku type puzzle. The other is this results-driven planning model. And the results-driven planning model is all about start with the end in mind, how to create your goals and determine whether or not they're real. Today we're going to talk about just the standard P&L, right? The standard P&L is just asking questions. If I sell this much and I want to have 60% cost of goods sold or 40% gross profit or 25% operating expense, how much will I make, right? How much will I make? Well, let's ask this. In this case, this is the Mini P&L is all about clearing the noise. It's just giving you the top line, the biggest categories on the income statement. This is saying if I'm spending $250,000 now, what happens if I hire a new manager and it costs me $50,000 more? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I'm going to take that 250 and I'm going to change it into 300. And there we go. Tab out of it. Now that becomes 30%. I just took 5% off of my net profit. So in order for transferable value to stay a certain percentage, this is what happens. All you're doing is doing what if scenarios. What if I sell more? What if it costs me more? What if it, I want to make more in my transferable value, right? I don't want 60%. I want, 50%. How much is that? That's basically what I'm trying to ask. So the other thing is on unit mode. One is the annual or the monthly or whatever you put in there. The other is unit. What are things per unit? How much do things cost? What would happen if I, increase price by 10%? All of these questions can be answered in the Mini P&L. If you don't know how to work the actual, fields that are on here, don't worry about it. It's easy. It's easy. You can just put in, I want to reduce operating expense. I want to hire somebody. There's all these mini tools or widgets off to the side that helps you make good decisions about what would happen if. This is a what if, like what's going to happen in the future. And then if you don't know, you can say, well, I can ask AI. Yeah, this is where AI is built in. This is the first time you've seen it since I've started this podcast. AI is built in very specific places because if you've ever used like ChatGPT or Claude or any of these folks, if you give it too broad a prompt, it's going to go crazy. It's going to do all kinds of crazy things. This is very specific to what we're doing on this page in these fields with this specific information. So you're going to get a better answer. Not only that, it isn't just AI, it's also MI. Yep. My intelligence, the stuff I wrote in the books, the stuff I put, on paper, the stuff I put in the courses, that's built into the product as well. So you just ask it a question like, what if I increase prices by 10%, right? So let's just do that. What if, first of all, you got to spell things right and move a microphone from your keyboard. By 10%. I ask AI, it analyzes it, and it's going to give me some answers, right? That's basically what we're doing. Now, AI is a little bit slower than this podcast, so we can talk, we can think about it, we can do all this, but it's going to produce the actual result for you. So when you ask AI, it's going to create the scenario for you so you can see it, you can interpret the numbers. So this is a mini P&L. The results-driven planning model, a little bit different because it's going to show you how much do I have to sell in order to make the money that I want to make, right? So if I want to make $150,000, how much do I have to sell to do that based on the way my business runs? And you can create all kinds of different scenarios in this and even create an action plan, which is I want to do these things. When I create the action plan, basically what it's going to do is going to create actions and put it on my to-do list, and we'll get to the to-do list a little bit later. But that's what we're doing here. So if you want to know how it works, you just click on how it works, and it's going to pop up and explain how this mini P&L sandbox works. So that is the mini P&L. Now, let me go back to the standalone tools because I want to show you the other one, the process optimizer. This is for folks that feel stuck. They're like going, does this even work? All right, so this is all about process optimization. If sometimes it's not a mathematical problem, sometimes it's just being efficient in your own office. So what I've done is created a way for it, a tool to help you pinpoint where the problems are and how you might be able to improve that process. So process optimization, when you create a new one, you can just say, hey, I want to use a template. And I've already got some process templates already built, right? Like invoice approval or customer service or those type of things. Or I got, for customer service, I got an onboarding process. When you click on this, it's going to create steps for you to start because some people don't know where to start. So what I've done is create the steps and give you not only a timeline, a Gantt chart, but show you the exact steps that you might go through, step 1, step 2, step 3. And what you're going to put into each step is, what are you trying to achieve in that step? Like I take the piece of paper from Mike and Mike gives it to Tina and Tina does this with it. You outlined all of these steps of what happens in your process, who's supposed to do it, what's supposed to happen, and then any challenges that it took, right? How long is this supposed to take? Do they overlap? Do they happen at the same time? But the challenges is what's going to happen. It's like going every time Tina takes a call from XYZ company, it takes 30 minutes of her time, so she falls behind in the process. Whatever that is, we can help you identify those bottlenecks and produce a plan. Like there's 0 bottlenecks in this one, but if I run AI analysis, we'll see what happens. Because I put in my steps, just fill out those simple little forms, tells you the total steps, how long it takes from starting to ending, and boom, hey, AI will tell you we can improve this from 8 days to 5 days by doing these things, right? So you've got an AI plan and you can generate the plan and put it on your action plan. So this is the process optimization tool. What you do is you create a process, right? You create a process, do the analysis tools, but in the process, when you create it, you're going to either start from scratch, and when you start from scratch, like we're going to do TD cutting, when I start from scratch, I'm just going to put in my steps, right? Add a step, add a step, add a step is basically what we're doing. Adding a step, putting in the end result, who's it assigned to, the actions, how long it takes, any issues or observations that I have, does it overlap with other steps, and save. And when you save, it's going to create this big step program for you in a Gantt chart, a timeline view, and analyze where you can get better based on all of the things AI knows about this type of process. So those are the 2 standalone tools that you should pay attention to. One is the Mini P&L to answer your what if questions. This is if you get stuck in a process, things that are happening. Maybe you got a manufacturing line, an engineering process, just a project. It doesn't matter. This will help you identify the roadblocks and give you advice on how to get past them. So I'm Cashflow Mike. If you want to know more about the Clear Path to Cash, go to cashflowmike.com.